Hi, I'm Kathy at the Denham Springs Walker Branch Library, and we're doing another curbside craft today. Today we're making two things, and it's going to be a lot of fun, super easy. Anybody can do this. One of them is a little booklet, a little book that you can carry in your purse or give as a gift. And then the other one is this really cool little fold-up pocket. And you're going to say, what can you do with that? Well, I'm going to show you the different things you can do with this and how easy it is to make. If you have, like for instance, if you want to give out party invitations, or you have a birthday gift and you don't have a card for it, or let's say you're having some sort of a promotional, if you're a businesswoman and you want to put your business cards in something, these are great little pockets for that, and they're real easy to make. I'll show you. The first one I made was just made out of a piece of an old yellowed book, and actually I have two here. And I'm going to show you how I did it. You fold it over diagonally so that it looks like you've got two mountaintops there, side by side. This edge is parallel to this one, and this one is parallel to this one. And you just draw, you fold a line there. Now, some fancy people have a fancy little tool for doing that. I just either use my fingers or I use a pen or something. Then after you have your fold made diagonally, you bring it in from the side on one direction and from the other side on the other direction. You might want to decide how wide you want it to be. And then you fold it into, you see, you slide it into the pocket that you just folded it over. There you have it. And then you take your glue stick that you're going to have in your packet, and you go along the bottom edge so that it holds itself together after you fold it together, and there is your little pocket. That was easy. Now I'm going to show you a couple of tricks about how to get your pictures where you want. For instance, when I made this one, I wanted the fruit on the back, and I wanted some pretty pictures on the front. Here's another example. This one has fall leaves. It has a tree. I wanted to have the tree on the back and the leaves on the front. And sometimes when you start folding, it comes out with your prettiest picture on the inside. This one, I wanted the bread rolls. It wanted to look like a picnic on the front. So I'm going to show you what I did. I made a little one just out of plain scrap paper, and I painted the whole front. I put orange marks a lot on the front and green marks a lot on the back. And then when I unfolded it, you could see before you make it what is going to be showing. The green part is the back, green is the back, the orange parts are going to be showing on the front. So I use that as my guide whenever I am making one. Let's say, for instance, we're going to make one with this nice deer on it, okay? We want the deer to show up. So we're going to make sure the deer is on this corner, see? Let's see, wait a minute. Come on, Kathy. All right, we're gonna make sure the deer is on the back. There he is. Okay, so now we're gonna do everything just like I showed you. The 2 points are like two mountaintops, side by side. Parallel here. You want that strip to be parallel lines. And then you fold it over, approximately into thirds. And this time you're going to put the pocket into that side. Now look at there. You have a mountain, a nice mountain on the front. You have your deer on the back. That's a good manly gift for somebody. And you can, all right, let me put the glue down. You want to glue just the bottom edge, because you want it to hold, you want the pocket to stay shut at the bottom. Now that should hold tight in a few minutes after it dries. And the sort of thing, let's say for instance you have a friend who's homesick and you want to give them a little perk you up present. You could go, this is our bookmark that we made last week. You could put a bookmark in the back pocket, and maybe you could put, oh look, Livingston Parish is fine free in there. We've got one that says, thanks for being a great kid. Stick that in there. And then, oh, here's something I'm going to show you in just a second. A little tiny book that you just made yourself. Put that in there, and you got a perfect little get well pick-me-up. And that's the sort of thing you can make with just leftover pages of books or magazines. So that is the pocket that you can make at home. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of addictive. Once I started making them, I wanted to make more and more and more. So find a good reason to make them. Find something like I said, there's plenty of uses you can use them for, and make different sizes to give to your friends. So now I'm going to clear off some space to show you how to make a book. Now, this project, if you want to look at this end of the table, I've got it packed full of fun things. When we were children, we learned how to make our own books. And boy, did we go crazy. Sometimes we would write a story and put it in it. Sometimes we would use it for note paper. I still like to carry one in my purse because you want to write somebody a note, you want to jot down a phone number or something like that. I know we use our cell phones for a lot of things, but it's really nice to have a pretty little booklet, and they also make wonderful little gifts. You tuck them in a birthday card, you put them in one of those pockets you just made. It's a cute little thing. So I'm going to show you how to make one. It seems self-explanatory, but still, it's fun to see how to do it. So let me make a little room here on my display. Oh, these are the pictures I brought for us to choose from today. The things that you can use this for, the applications. My son, he loves it when I talk about him on air. I roll. He always had a little, this is his little telephone book that he kept in his wallet going through school. And I thought, well, that's a really cool thing because, you know, we are so dependent on our cell phones for everything, but sometimes you get somewhere and your cell phone dies and you can't charge it right away and you need to call somebody. It's nice to have a backup phone book in your wallet. And this is kind of a guy one. I didn't want them all to be lacy. This one has buffaloes and a whale tail on the back, and you give it to your boyfriend or your husband or your kids and tell them, look, write down all your, or you write down the important numbers for them and give it to them and say, here's something to stick in your wallet so you never have an excuse not to call mom. So that's a nice little telephone book you can make. These are all just little notepad books, but there's two styles here. This is the kind that they're decorated, they just open in the normal fashion, and they have pictures on the inside. I'm going to show you some of the sweet things you can do with that. These open like an old-fashioned matchbook. You pop it open inside. Now this one I used decorated paper that I have had. Some of this goes back for years, but I went ahead and put it to good use, and I put it into this little pocket notebook. This one is made slightly different because it's tied in back instead of along the spine. This one is kind of a travel book. It's got a beach on the front, and it's got little pictures of the cat and the goldfish. I mean, you could be creative, but basically it just tucks in. It's stapled at the bottom. You just staple at the bottom. You start with a longer piece of paper, you glue your pictures on, and you staple it at the bottom. This one I made from a Christmas card. Same exact style, but it's a Christmas card with note paper in it. A little bit of lace at the bottom to cover the staples. So you get the idea. You can be very creative with this. Just go wild. These two are, this one is favorite recipes. If you, let's say you want to give, let's say your daughter says, oh, Mom, I love your recipes. I want this one, this one, this one. You can write them all down for her and give her to her for Christmas. Or you can make one for yourself. Instead of just having, I have a can full of loose recipes, you could stick them in a book. And on the front, I've got desserts, and on the back, I have something delicious looking. So you can, inside I have old recipes. I just decorated the inside with another picture. This one is a travel log. This is if you know somebody going on a trip, or if you're going on a trip, you want to keep a journal while you're on the road. Decorate it with some pictures of where you're going to go. Also, right here, I have a little charm, and I want to tell you where I got this off an old earring. I hate to throw away earrings when I lose one because I might use it for something, so I did. This is from an earring that I lost one of the earrings, and so I just kept it with my beads and fun items, findings they call that, and I used it on that booklet for the travel journal. So I'm going to show you how to get started with this. These are the pictures. Now you're going to get a kit. When you come in to get your kit's going to have the paper and some beautiful photographs to choose from. You're going to have a glue stick, the lace, the string, everything you need to make one of these little small ones. So I'm going to show you how that's done. Now, first of all, I brought quite a few pictures. Now, your kit, I've had so much fun cutting out pictures this past month, and you're gonna have some large ones and some small ones. Some of them might turn out to be whimsical, some of them might have beautiful plants on them or little ideas, and some of them might be tiny, tiny. Look at that, there's a little ladybug, here's a little, oh, the grapes. I have some other grapes. If you have a friend who enjoys wine, you might make a little booklet for her that has grapes on it. You can be thematic with your books. And then puppies, I thought that would be really cute on one of the phone books, a puppy on the front and a puppy on the back. Here's a peacock feather. So anyway, you can go through your own magazines and just go crazy with it. I think I'm gonna use this picture for this one. It's almost big, and I'm just gonna center it on the front. Oh, and I also used this old paper in the inside. It just makes it look kind of a little antique-y. I had a very old book that was falling apart, and I just used the pages out of this. I recycled it to use for this project. So first I glued the inside page down, and I'm probably going to put some more pictures on it. And it's kind of fun if you glue it at a not quite perfect angle. We're going to use our sharp knife and cut the edges off in a minute. So the inside, basically that's it for the inside. And now your glue paper is not the same as your cutting surface. I'm going to move some of my pictures over here. And the knife, of course, is under the paper. You can use scissors if you don't have a nice sharp knife at home. I've gotten a little accustomed to using my knife. Nice straight edge. Makes it easy to do. And there you have the inside done. Now we might put some more pictures on that, but for now that's all we want to put on it. So on the outside we're going to put this picture, and we're going to center it about like so. So we're going to put the glue, once again, use my paper underneath it. All right, so we've got a pretty bouquet on the front of that one. And we want something to fill up this gap right here. How about the plant? Okay, so we'll just, and these pictures, I got this idea. I looked up junk journals. If you go to YouTube and look up junk journals, there are people on there with so many ideas for cool things to make. And so they just have all kind of ways of filling up pages and covering things. And so that's where I borrowed this idea from. And we're going to glue a little ladybug over the corner here where it says number 10. Not that we mind it being number 10, but it's just fun to kind of stack our pictures up here. Another thing you can do is you can take you can take this little set of flowers here, and you can use your thumb as the guideline or your finger, and just tear around it, and that gives it an even more rustic look. In fact, we'll put that one next to the bug. All right, now we're going to cut off the excess once again. Oh, kind of free-handed that one, didn't I? That's all right. Watch out for the fingers. If you're not an adult, make sure an adult helps you with this, or else just use plain old scissors. There you have it. Now, you're going to remember where you folded it. It's nice to fold it while the glue is still wet, because that way it'll stay folded when you're done with it. Okay, I've got a little excess here. I'm going to just use my knife to cut it off. Now, your kit is also going to have the inside paper, the paper for the inside. You're going to have about 5 or 6 sheets of lined paper inside there. Now, you see we've got the flowers, we've got the plant, the bugs. Now, let's see, what shall we put on the inside? We have an apple. And so, oh, I like the mouse. I like the mouse. Okay, we're going to use a mouse. He's standing up. He's a friendly mouse. We're going to tear carefully around. Now, if you don't want to tear his nose, that's where you put your thumb over the nose, and you just tear around your thumbnail. And that way you can, it looks random, but you're kind of guiding where it tears. And we're going to have him at the bottom down here on the back. We'll trim off the edge from the outside. Okay, now what is the mouse looking at? Let's have, we've got a little leaf there. A fly. No, that's a bee. Okay, we'll put a tiny little bee up here. That's what the mouse sees. This is fun. And a butterfly. Now, I think the butterfly is in the hands. Once again, I'm going to tear around that because we don't really want the hands so much as we want the butterfly. The butterfly can go on the front page. And what happened to the rest of that plant that I cut up? Oh, I've got all sorts of little plants we can put in here. Oh, here we go. Here's the rest of the one from the outside. They kind of belong together. Trim it down so that it doesn't cover the butterfly. A little more. I think that's good. Get my glue paper back over here again. I love glue sticks. I really have learned that they are good for a lot of things, and they dry I thought it was like paste from years ago. No, it dries much more permanently than that. So we have the butterfly coming into the plant, and the mouse and the bee, and I think I want something in this corner. How about just a little leaf? Oh, the flower. And if you look at those junk journal pages, let me tell you, too much is not enough. They put stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. So it's really kind of up to you how far you want to go with your decorating. If you're making a phone book for a guy, you want to keep it kind of simple. All right, now let me trim off the edge. All right, that is your booklet without the paper yet. Let me show you what we're going to do for that. And when you open it, I'll go ahead and cut some paper for this one because I don't see that I have it handy, but that's okay. This won't take but a second. We want our paper to be about the same size, so we're going to make a little mark here. We'll cut it about from there to about there. Line it up straight here. Once again, you can do this with scissors as well. dot there. Your paper's already going to be cut in your kit, so you won't really have to do all this part. But if you're making it at home, really and truly, you can do these. You can cut out your own photographs. And when it comes to using the cardstock, I started to bring samples in the junk mail that I get at home. I get so many pieces of cardboard and card. You can get the things that fall out of magazines when you open them. You can use cereal box cardboard if you want to. You can find cardboard to do this trick everywhere. Where's my book? Ah, here we go. Getting lost in my own junk here. Okay, so I want to mark the center where I folded it, right there. And I'm going to lay the paper across the center of it. I may end up having to trim my paper down when I'm done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, if you're using scissors, you can do this with scissors, but generally I just take my knife and I go in about a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch on one side, 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch on the other side. You see what I did? I cut through all the thicknesses, and then you fold it over. Now your book has paper. Once again, we're going to trim that in a minute. Now, I put some thread in. Now, if you noticed over here, I have some of the string that we used in our other projects. I also have some lace. Oh, I didn't put any lace on it. Let's put a piece of lace real quick, because I like to reinforce the spine with a piece of lace. And I included some lace in the package with your kit. So it just dresses it up some. I'm going to put a little piece of lace here. Oh, I'm not sure that glue stick is going to hold that lace down, but if you have some tacky glue or some Elmer's, that might help it hold it a little bit more securely. I found that the glue stick did work when I did this before. Cut it off at either end. Now, if you look at these other ones, you might decide to put your lace at the bottom. You can decorate your lace and your ribbon anywhere you want to. I even put little pieces of it on the tie. You'll see that in a minute. Whenever I go to tie it, I put a little bit of lace and ribbon there too. So I'm going to cut the lace in. If I already had it glued on, it would already be cut, but I'm cutting it in like I did the paper. Now, in your packet, you're going to have some thread, and you're going to think, oh, a piece of thread, but what I sent you was actually heavy-duty thread. It's called buttonhole twist, top stitching and buttonhole twist, or quilting, and those are both super heavy threads. So we're going to go with the yellow, I think, for this one. And I wrapped it twice for strength. You simply put it in the center of the book and come up through the edges that you cut. See what I did there? And then you wrap it twice for strength. Okay, now you've got your paper secured. Nice and tight. You're just going to tie a regular string here, tie it. I like a square knot. Whatever holds well for you is going to work. So you tie it in a knot on the back. It's kind of like tying a gift. You want to make sure you get it as close to the book as you can. If you have someone to put their finger there, that's great. And if you don't, just try and get it as careful as you can. Close to the book. There we go. Got that one pretty tightly on there. All right, now for all intents and purposes, your book is finished, but I'm going to give you a few little finishing touches because we want to decorate it some more. This is when you're going to have a little piece of ribbon, and I brought some with me here. I'm going to cut a couple of strips of ribbon here to decorate the tie, and some more of the lace. I have different little pieces of lace here. Cut a little piece of lace there to put in there, and I want some green ribbon, since there's a lot of green in that. You don't have to make a bow or anything because when you tie it, it's going to scrunch it up. So I just layer these in whatever order you want. This is a time to get creative. You can do whatever you'd like to with this. And then after you tied the knot, don't try and put the lace in while you're tying your first knot. Secure the book first and then add the decorations. But after you've got the knot tied, just lay your ribbon and tie another knot. Now that looks okay. Okay, all right, let me, I've got glue on my fingers, it's not helping. All right, let's lay this down gently and tie the knot around it, just like you're starting to tie your shoe. There you go, I got it, yay me. And then when you pull it tight, it gathers it all up, kind of scrunches it together. Let me get it centered a little better. There you go. Now you're going to tie it a second time. Like I said, make a little square knot out of it. All right, so now your book has a little, looks like a bow, a little decoration on the side. If you want to trim that up one way or the other to make it even, you can. See, the lace is, the glue is working, the lace is getting stuck down there. Now, have I got any little, oh, I already put the parrot on that one. I want to show you something, a little, one thing I did invest in, I got something to round the corners. Let me trim the pages first. So the book is even. And this is something that I thought was the coolest. You put your corner, it's a corner rounder. You put your corner in there. It's like a hole punch. It makes it round. I just had so much fun with that, but I'm going to show you how you can do that if you don't want to go purchase one of these. I'll show you another way to do that because I did not used to have one of these. Uh-oh. So let me show you an alternate way of getting that same effect. In my little goodie bag, this one, I have more goodies. Oh, they dumped out too soon. This is how my workshop looks at home. Okay, you can have beads, things you can decorate your book with. If you want to put some beads, this is left over from our last project. I have glass beads at home. Here's a button. See if you can come in close. This is a button that I glued paper to. I took a little paper picture. I wet both sides of the paper with Elmer's glue, and I just took an old button and I just kept pushing it down until it got into all the creases, and then I poked the holes there. So I have a little button. You can decorate your books. In fact, one of these, the one with the chicken, has a button on it. This was left over from a craft program we did earlier in the year. I used a little button there. So you can actually decorate your buttons if you want to, or you can use beads. Here's another earring that I have found that I lost the other one to. Tiny little dragonfly. You could put that on one of your books. Here's another one with a heart on it that I lost. You could put a button. Let's put this. I like this one. We'll put this little thing on, little bead. If I can. Yay, that was easy enough. Before I cut my thread, I'll put a little bead on there. Tie a knot. Anything goes. Anything goes. You can do whatever you want with this. We're going to cut our threads. Now you have a book with a little silver bead on it. That lace might need a little more work, but you don't have beads in your kit, but everything else that you see on here will be in your kit for you to make your own little book. Oh, I know what I started to show you. The way that I used to make these before I bought my little gizmo is I would take a button, and I have different size buttons in here. Here's a big one, and I would lay it down on the corner, use a pen or pencil to draw around it, And that's how I would cut the curve that I wanted and be consistent with all of them. Let's see, I think I want a smaller one. I had different size buttons so I could have different size curves. There we go. And you want to just cut all of the blue off when you go to cutting. And it's a little more time consuming, but you get the same effect. In case you don't want to go out and purchase that, you cut your own curve. You just cut all the blue off. And trust me, no one else is going to be looking that closely at it. You'll get the same effect. I almost got the mouse's foot. I left it. There, now your book has curved corners, little bead, little lace, little ribbon, pictures on the inside. And you can use this, like I said, you can use it to take notes down. You can use it to leave a note for somebody, tear a sheet out if you want to leave a note. Hey, came by and I missed you. And there's just lots of different things you can use these little booklets for, and they make great gifts. People love getting them. They're a lot of fun. Everybody I've showed them to, I had to make new samples because I kept giving them away. When we finally start having sit-down classes again, I have all kind of ideas. We're going to expand out from this, and we're going to have more junk journal ideas, things that we can do whenever you can sit down and choose your own photographs, and everybody can swap ideas and have a good time. So in the meanwhile, everybody stay safe, stay happy, and keep reading.